intros before going live.
Boom.
Hell yeah.
There we go. Hello, everybody.
Bingo.
Friends, lovers, enemies, rivals. Welcome to episode 83 of the Great Pendragon Campaign. I'm your intrepid game master, narrator, Eric. Doing well today. Last week, I was sick as hell. This week, much better. Rumors of my demise are greatly exaggerated. How are you two doing today?
Good. It's been a week. It's not even January's not even over.
Yeah.
God. Oh no.
It's been a whole year already.
Yeah.
It's not even over. All right. Yeah, it's good. It's good to be back.
Yeah, we were just talking about magic before. Not the gathering, but actual magic.
Proper magic.
Yeah.
All right. The game. I rolled up an event for you, Jim, and I kind of want to help collaborate this together rather than me rep entirely. But I got a bliss event for you, because you, in my notes or in my background prep and stuff, I'm like, well, you have to pass a chastity test, right? Can you? And you do, and you crit, and for Sweeterin and stuff. So I imagine that this is you all spending a lot of time as a couple, which we haven't seen a lot. Yeah. So I was kind of wondering, what I would love to know what you find so special about Sweeterin, because obviously we all know about your love for Guinevere, right? That's super well known. But what is that cute thing that Sweeterin's doing that maybe is not super cute objectively, but subjectively to you, it's that thing you're makes you kind of fall in love with her again.
Yeah. We've been we got married in 505.
Yeah.
It's 522, so that's quite a while. Yeah,
17 years of getting to know each other, and it was an arranged marriage, but you have all made it work.
Yeah. I've actually been thinking a lot about this since looking having the more passion for Queen Guinevere that Gorthrin does, and how that matches up. And to me, Gorthrin is definitely much in the Guinevere is a literal idol.
Yeah.
Right. They're a person. She is. Yeah. But what she represents, what she stands for and symbolizes is what really resonates with Gorthrin, and how, say, Queen Guinevere frames what it means to be chivalrous and honorable. Was especially for me as a player, solidified how Gorthrin sees her. And I think what I did, because last year I raised my chase by 1 so that I no longer have 16 lustful.
Yeah.
As part of an effort to take his conversion seriously. And I think 15. He is seeing Sweeterin as she's always been there. She got forced into this too. She could have, there's any number of ways that she could have undermined Gorthrin, made life difficult for him. But she seemed to be willing to put in this work and effort to make this arranged marriage work. And after 17 years, Gorthrin's just I love her because she's always been there. She's always she's amazing at taking care of the household. She's helped raise these kids. She's been, as far as Gorthrin knows, faithful to him, despite some philandering on his part. And I think he's now come to an appreciation that's deeper than just affection or fancy, but this is maybe the most important person in Gorthrin's life.
Yeah,
is Sweeterin. And he just can't help but feel very deeply about it in that moment.
How do you express that? Is it strictly is Gorthrin too masculine and cool to express that stuff, or is it what's your how do you express your love for your wife?
Yeah, that's a good question. I think Gorthrin's certainly masculine, but I think he's goofy enough that he doesn't care if he does something foolish. And I think Gorthrin, I kind of want to say that we've come in that winter where our oldest son is heading off to the church and having to make this huge change. Gorthrin's made a change. like there's been 2 attempts on the king's life. Like it's been really eventful
Yeah.
year. And like I'm just sort of thinking of like, I don't know, what I want to do is something that might seem unromantic, but is but like in the context of
Yeah, sure.
their society might mean something. And I think he basically wants to tell Svedorin that the manor on the Isle of Light is hers. And that whenever Gorthrin, however he perishes, like he wants her to have her own place. He doesn't want her to have to depend on anyone else or whatever. So he would split off that portion of his, patrimony, whatever you call it, and like to make sure that it stays with Svedorin and like her side of the family.
Yeah. Well, I'm not sure that's probably.
I don't know if
that's probably not Sweeterin's love language, but also being with you for 17 years knows that this is one of the ways you show affection, and that like how important it is for like she's able to not read your brain, but like kind of do understand what you're coming from that and can appreciate what you're trying to do.
Yeah, certainly. I think Gorthrin was also, like, oh, this would be big. This is big, it's very, the exchange of manners and the like is big in the world he comes from.
For sure.
But in smaller ways, what I've tried to do like this last year for Gorthrin is like Gorthrin has had his adventures. He's gone all over the place. He's visited Fairy and things like that. And 522 is, or 21 was going to be like attend to home life. Yeah, and I think Gorthrin just makes his presence more available and more like just there more
around.
He's not off adventuring. He's not off, in a war somewhere. He's just around more and helping more.
Yeah. Well, you definitely notice that, in the 17 years or so, like Svedorin is now like not just a Wessex born kind of Saxon doing that stuff. Like she is indistinguishable from the other ladies of the court, except, she's perfectly fine owning her own in Camelot and stuff, right?
Mm.
Like she's wearing the latest fashions, the latest styles, and not nary a single bad word is ever said about her. She is like just a force on her own.
Yes, she is.
Yeah. In fact, what's her name? The person that Guinevere, her handmaiden, who's like was helping you. I forgot her name for a second. It's kind of like I don't really have much to do. She's kind of better than
Lady
me.
Bryn.
Yeah,
Lady Bryn.
All right.
Yeah, she is because Svedorin's got that 21 now, I think.
Yeah, just as legendary. Gwern spitefully also raising his. They're the best stewards in the realm, more or less.
Yeah.
All right.
Think about that. Like for Lady Bryn, at this point I kind of just assume she's the assistant steward.
Yeah.
For Svedorin.
Yeah. We were also discussing that before we went live. It's just a household is so huge. It's much bigger than what we kind of imagine, and even all the people we can depict in a game session, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Even if there's like reasonable names for.
Yeah, exactly. But the idea that your entire life is governed by 30 plus people all trying to do a good job. It's like kind of like a Formula One race, where like you're the race car and like the horses, but the amount of people that go into making sure all that stuff works right all the time it's an army.
It's insane. Yeah.
Right. So
if Lady Bryn is looking for a project, then Gorthrin's certainly happy to give her one.
Nice.
And he's looking for a surgeon. He's looking for a top-notch, someone that he can take into his household. And bring with him on campaign.
All right, she'll get to recruiting. Winterborn Gunnet, Nacewind. A couple of things for starters. The construction projects that from last year were remarkably well, and it came about that during the sort of expansion of the river, the workers found an old Roman treasure box, complete with about a bunch of odds and ends of Roman coins in it. The question is, they're honorable. They give it to you. It can be yours. You could give it to the born, or you could just kind of give it back to the workers as a bonus. What would you like to do?
I mean, it came from the Bourne. It should go back to the Bourne. So, I tell them to bury it back in the river.
Yeah. Okay. Literally?
No,
Okay.
no.
Fast forward 2021, we make a movie, or 2022, we make a film about somebody finding these Roman coins. Sorry, anyways. Okay. Yeah, what do you want to do?
No, I would put it towards the Order of the Bourne.
Okay. Awesome. I will keep that in mind as a offset to any like future calamity or anything affecting the place. I will use that as sort of like a buffer to it. But yeah. Awesome. So that doesn't count to conspicuous spending or anything like that. It's just entirely like basically saving yourself from misfortunes for the Bourne in the future. That makes sense?
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
Yep.
Awesome. All right then. Ooh, yeah, I forgot. All right, here's looking at my notes. Jim, I have another thing about Till's head.
Yeah.
I would love to know how this came across your desk because it's extremely low priority, but I also know how much you would kind of love this. Maybe it's because this is such an interesting topic. A peasant's cow that died, it drowned in a stream, came back to their stead a few days ago, and they don't know what to do with it. It seems perfectly healthy.
All right.
It's the same cow because it's marked. You know what I mean? Like it has to be.
Yeah.
Obviously, they don't know what to do with it. They're keeping it away from the other cows. You know what I mean? So, like, you can just kind of imagine there's just one, just standard white, kind of, lanky.
Listen, if we need to have an exorcism for a cow, we will.
I mean, they're like they're kind of like I don't know what to do. Yeah, right.
Has a priest been called?
Not really. They kind of want to ask you what to do, right? I mean, honestly, the priest is probably like, I don't know what to do. I've never, you know what I mean? Yeah. We didn't really cover this in seminary, to be honest.
Sure. I mean, they're sure they saw it drown. I'm not gonna have the question or put the peasant to the question, but is there any vibe from the cow? Does it seem sinister or weird, or like is it behaving like a cow?
It has red eyes and is speaking.
It's an iron hide and breathes poison gas and shit.
Roll insight on the cow.
Yeah. No,
I mean, it's behaving like a normal cow.
Yeah.
Right?
It's just that this cow has been missing for like 2 days. They saw it like go in the river or whatever, and it's it's like an Artax situation where it's like you're not getting it out, and then and all of a sudden, like a few days later, this cow gets out and looks fine.
Lucky cow.
They're not sure if it's lucky or cursed. Like, right, you know what I mean? And that's the thing they don't know what to do with.
If they're concerned,
they want to sell it. The priest is like, let's just sell it. It's either like it's someone else's fortune or misfortune. Let's just not deal with it. Unless you like have this is like some kind of probably a pagan thing to evaluate. It's not exactly like a Christian thing to.
Yeah. I'd rather not sell it yet. We don't know. This could be a lucky cow. This could be I think it's worth taking it to a druid to see what they say. Like they tend to know more about these kinds of folk things. Maybe they've heard of this before. Cows come back all the time, right? They're domesticated animals. They know where they get fed, and like it's easy to imagine that they survive in a stream.
Yeah,
you don't want to give away a lucky cow. So let's see. I'll advise them to, wait for the druid. Gorthron will hang on to it, like if they're worried or it needs a place to stay. We can keep it in a pen. Magic things are about. We should not make rash decisions.
Lovely. Thank you, Jabba. Okay. Cool. Well, that's my spring announcements. What do you guys want to do? Any things in the spring before Easter?
Yes. Just see real quick. Colin, if you've got something.
I actually did have something. Fuck. Hold on. I think it had to do with a relative from my family tree, and I want to confirm. Yes. Okay. I actually wanted to check in on Glessig. 'Cause I haven't seen or talked to my sister in like a while.
Yeah. She is. I have multiple Glassigs. No, that's the other Gorthrin one. There it is. Do you remember whether or not Glassig was blessed?
Off the top of my head, no.
Okay. Yep. Well, they are a steward.
Yeah, I know they married.
Yeah.
Last time, less sure of.
Part of me tells me that Glassig. I'm just checking my notes. Control F for Glassig is not super helpful. Glassig gave birth to a healthy child.
Oh, they did. Do we have a name for that kid?
Horsa?
Horsa. I'll get bio details.
So many
I also need to
Glasses,
update with Glassig's husband.
Well, let's figure it out right now.
Okay.
Roll a d20 for me. That'll determine the kingdom.
When we established he was from
Or Salisbury. Or Silchester.
No, from
Ryderton?
remember when a bunch of knights from outside the county were marrying in this was in the days of Gareth. Blanking. It wasn't Cornwall.
I want to say it was Welsh.
Oh, was it Wessex then? Like was this around the same time as when Gorthrin got married?
No, because the thing is they were Himric, and that was like, well,
Okay.
at least it's not the Wessex boys coming in. It was after Alder's Gap, because it was one of the ways they were trying to get all these manors taken care of. It might have been, I think it was to the north. It was either right. If you actually show me the map of Logris, I might be able to.
I know there was
on site.
There was a time in
To
that
the map.
period
Yeah,
where after Alder's Gap, we were really close. We had allied with like one of the Welsh kingdoms over.
Yeah, it might
Somerset?
be. I'm thinking Somerset.
That does sound vaguely familiar. Somerset or the Jagant. Yeah, it's where the Earl's. No, the Earl's wife is from Wessex. Like they're from the Southport stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think this was after all that. I think Somerset sounds.
I think
Somerset or Rydichin.
Well, I'm going to make it an executive decision and say that they're from Somerset, because that would be fun.
Okay.
And Somerset gets some well-deserved representation on screen. All right. Obviously, Bath is from there, and I would love to use the Bath in the game some more. So, obviously, they live in Bath. So do you want, is this like a visit, or is this like just a kind of a letter or something like that? Or
Yeah, and this is
a
a
letter.
visit.
Oh,
Pop
hell yeah.
in, say hello.
Nice. Okay. Yeah, so when you find them, you find that they are relatively cold. They're obviously going to give you the hospitality and stuff that you deserve, but you can see that the Bath is currently not doing very well. Or like their lands and stuff like that, they're kind of living basically the equivalent of a poor lifestyle. But they're trying to like kind of hide it from you.
Okay. Is this something I would like to I want to help them without breaking the kayfabe, basically. I don't want to embarrass them or make them defensive by being like, do you need help with money?
Yeah.
Uh,
So
I want to do the equivalent when I was in college. My dad would like accidentally leave a hundred when he'd visit on the counter or something.
Yeah. Get some workers to go bury a Roman treasure coin in their river.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you want to concoct a way to let them save face while offering just being generous.
Exactly. Be like
Discreet while being generous. Yeah.
Yeah. Be like we had a pretty good harvest, down in Salisbury, but like unfortunately Gwern fucked up and we haven't been able to offload any of it to London and I just need it out. So like I need to sell it to you for like super cheap, super absolute dirt cheap grain prices.
I would love that. I think the question would be how will they take it?
Yeah.
Like whether or not they're too stubborn to accept the KFIM.
Yeah, just be like, please do me this favor. I need your help on this grain problem.
But I want to make the test about you, despite it being kind of like a reaction to them. So let's see how well you sell this. Do you want to test honesty or generous or? Because you're not very close to you. Like they're not very, obviously you're coming here and they're not close to you at all.
I'm gonna test honest.
Okay.
And I'm gonna tap love of family because it's important. The whole reason I visit is because like I haven't seen Blessed in a while. She's my sister. Like, so love of family.
God.
All right. So that gives me +5. No. +10?
Yeah.
Is it notable enough for that yet?
If it's 18, it should.
It is.
Yeah.
Okay, so +10. So this is an auto success then.
So you're like, so is there like a, maybe an anecdote about being kids or something that brings you two together? Or like, do you remember the time with dad about blah, blah, or is there?
Yeah, I'm like, I relate I'm like, do you remember when we were little and we went to the blackberry bush and mom and dad had told us not to eat any blackberries and I came back with like my skirt full of blackberries and I couldn't eat them all and I needed your help to eat them all before dinner so they wouldn't know that we'd been out eating blackberries.
Yeah.
And it's like same thing. It's just I got too much fucking grain.
Yeah.
I can't unload it anywhere. I just need your help.
Yeah. Like I know we haven't been close in a while, but can you? Yeah. I think she's going to do the thing where it's well, I'll see what we can do, which is the yes, right?
I'll take
yeah, with a smile, kind of like that slight smile of, she knows what you're doing, right?
Yeah.
So if you wanted to do it in a way that she like gets surprised on how good it was, rather than it being just relatively just very, very subtext, despite subtext being only for cowards, but she's onto it, then it's fine. Okay.
No, I'm just gonna make sure Gwern sends a valet with like the worst sense of math and proportion for measuring this grain out. Just like use our worst idiot, someone that anyone could accidentally take advantage of.
Yeah. You're a very generous person.
I mean, yeah, my generous is 17.
Yeah. So definitely check being generous for your family. Because someone you haven't seen in a while, and you're like, the first thing you do is like, how much food's in your bowl? How can I help? That's nice.
Gotta be me.
Cool. They say they're going to be missing the feast at Easter, so they're glad they were able to see you. They haven't been able to make it since for a while. All right. There's a lot. Oh, sure, but
if you guys,
yeah. I mean, I was gonna say like the ending of that scene is just like her asking you about some kind of gossip and some of the stories of like that you've been up to the past couple of years. You know, like was Arthur really like under attack last year? What, you know, what's going on with Merlin? You know, and just kind of like catching up to the round table shit. But yeah.
Yeah.
All right, what about Gorthon?
Couple things. Gorthon wants to go around to his extended family and essentially like see if any of them need anything or need a place to live. Like he's extending to like if the rest of his brothers and sisters, Svetorin's family, if she has any younger brothers or sisters, like if anybody needs a place, a household to be part of, like Gorthon's just letting them know in case it's been a while that they can always ask, and it's available. He has not gone to Morgan yet, his sister, because obviously he's probably seen her around Winterborn Gunnet and the like, but he figures that like she's like the next oldest from him, and they've always been distant. So he's not pressing that. But like Taryn, Moriel would be going through squireship now.
Yeah.
Any of like his cousins or like or any of like I don't know if Erwin's brothers had kids. I didn't really keep track of like the extended family of Erwin's brothers and such. But
let me ask, well, speaking of which, let's go back to the point that you made about Moriel entering the squireship program, because that's totally true. Would you have put your finger on the scales at all about who Moriel should wind up with, or is there somebody you would like Moriel to wind up with?
Yeah, like Gorthon is, I think he's like distant from his half siblings, but he still is like considers himself head of the family and would, unless they're like put up a huge fight or try to go around his back, he would assume he'd have some kind of say. He's going to try to get him the best position. Like if Moriel wants to be a knight, then he'll do everything. Gorthon will do everything he can to get him a good knight to squire to. Or, he'll buy him his kit if he needs it.
Hell yeah! But the question, I guess, the question I have is not just like does he become a squire, but like would you recommend someone for Moriel that like someone of a reputable stat? You know what I mean? Like we don't have to know. I'm not asking you to remember an NPC knight with a corresponding thing, but like, is there a knight or a archetype of knight that you would want them to especially squire under, like somebody who emphasizes valor or like another trait, or even something as so far as like the administration or some of the more of the logisticy side of being a ruler.
Gorthon is looking for someone he wants to keep it within Salisbury. He's not going to try to use his influence outside of the county, but he's looking for a knight who is just. That Gorthon thinks that that being able to be a just and wise lord of a manor or just a knight period is going to be pretty important coming up, and so he'd like to hook Moriel up with someone who's known for their justice.
That is someone that you think represents just very well. Cool, awesome. All right, cool. That's what I wanted to know.
And then while he's making the rounds of this, he wants to visit the Earl and gift the Earl with a courser, which is a hunting horse. I got one coming up this year that has it has a white coronet on its right rear leg. And it's finished its training this year. And as the Earl's huntsman, master of the hunt, Gorthon is going to gift the Earl with this courser.
Aw. Oh yeah, dude.
+5 to horsemanship while hunting.
I would, I think I would just I think because it's the first time we've seen it, you're not going to get this like every year you donate, but I would definitely check your loyalty to your lord, right?
Yep.
Going out of your way and being like, I imagine this isn't like a shit horse, right? It's like, no, this is a fine horse. I'm giving it to you, my lord.
It took like 7 years to train it. It's quite, it's good for riding, battle, or hunting. Gorthon rides one. That's his default horse is a courser, unless he's in battle.
Right? Yeah. right? Like here's my I know I just finished I spent 5 years reconstructing my 1968 Pontiac GTO. Here you go, my lord.
Here you go. On to my next one.
For Sunday driving. Yeah, or whatever. So it's like, okay, well, fair. For sure. Definitely do that. Obviously he's gonna accept it and stuff like that. And that's kind of, we don't really see it too much, or we're never really glazed on it, but that's absolutely stuff Castellan's, like praising your Earl and giving the Earl their share of nice goods and deeds and stuff like that. Absolutely. That's awesome.
Yeah. Gorthron is fermenting ideas of asking the Earl to be constable, like the in charge of the horses of Salisbury kind of position, but that might be for later in the year.
Okay. I love how invested you are into the administrative processes of Salisbury.
Yeah. The Book of the Estate has a really cool thing about like just the constable's role in an Earl's court. It's pretty cool.
I have not read that. I should definitely check that out. I've only read for like the changes from the Book of the Manor to the Book of the Estate, but never actually read the administrative parts.
I've been going through about one of the supplements a week, just trying not to climb the walls around here.
Man, are you thinking about running your own game?
I think once 6th edition comes out, I'll definitely be running my own.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Awesome. Good. Well, I mean, look, the best advice I could say is after being a player, like knowing what you like, you're able to take what you like and change the stuff you want to emphasize more, Yeah. And so like this is way better than starting from scratch and running it. So I'm sure you're gonna do great.
It's gonna be awesome. Yeah.
And all right, no, I love that. I love the idea here so much that the other thing is that the back in like pre Arthur, pre Anarchy, so Uther and Uther's predecessors and all that, and like Roderick and those predecessors, like these guys were warlords. You would have to give this stuff up just out of fear and like respect to this guy. But now it's kind of like just kind of a tradition, and it's a nice thing, and it's the coerciveness has a new coat of paint. I guess in terms of the hierarchy stuff, but it's slightly different. And I think I would like to emphasize, and I was kind of doing this a little bit with Colin's sister, Acewin's sister, is that the disparity between the rich and poor is growing more vast, even between knights at this time.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's not like egregious, but it's certainly like the people who are successful, like round table knights and stuff like that. You guys are doing super well. You're shielded basically from harm economically. People will take care of you, and other people without that protection kind of are left to their own.
That was Gorthron's motivation for making sure his extended family knows that this is available for them too.
Yeah,
but they need to act. They have to opt in. Like it's open for them if they ask it, and he'll give them a place.
I will. Yeah, I made a note of it, and I will roll this winter to see who comes. Awesome. Shall we feast?
Shall.
All right, we are going to Camelot. This is the Easter feast of 522. The important things on the docket is that Sir Accolon de Gaul, the guy you saved last year, the murderer, is going to be testifying at court, basically in front of everyone. This is kind of the first time of the year since then that everyone can really kind of get together, and this was important enough that we're going to have everybody around to hear what he has to say.
All right.
But you guys kind of already know the whole story, right? But this is just kind of for everyone else in the kingdom. So you know that.
Mm-hmm.
And that will happen near the end of it. So let's get ready to feast.
This is in Camelot?
Yep. Eels in thick, spicy puree, heraldic emblems in meat jelly, and mushroom tarts. All right, we're not a lot of chewy food. Well, maybe eels.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. I doubt eels in a spicy puree would be
Bruggen does not.
Probably cooked pretty thoroughly.
So Bruggen is not on their game.
shakes fists at
I will
Bruggen audibly.
spend Libra on gold. I mean, on jewelry.
Mm-hmm.
Look at that.
Do you want to see near the salt?
Jewelry. Still spent the money on the duds, but wrong colors this year. So it goes. Oh, so close.
Oh no, you're below the salt.
Wow.
What's the deal, guys?
This is unheard of.
Yeah, Gorthron will not. He's like, wait, we're seated where? He's not gonna let this.
Are you? Yeah,
I love
like it's K, right? It's
yeah.
K.
I love that you described like getting the wrong colors, which means if you had gotten the right colors, it would have been a crit.
Right. Like, it's not what they're wearing.
It's you walk into the hall and realize with all the torches, it makes everything sort of a warm color. When you come in a cold color, you just look kind of muddy.
Kind of muddy. Yeah. Yeah. I come in dressed in Lothian colors. It's like, bad look this year.
No.
It's like,
oh
but
shit.
the cloth was such good quality. How did I pass that up?
It was the deals.
Yeah, Gorthon's definitely going to take this up. He is.
No, you don't understand. As you go in front of a window. No, look, it's awesome. Yeah.
You need the right light. No, you just have them carrying torches around behind you all night.
Do you want to be seated near the salt? Is this below where you want to be?
This puts me below the salt if I go with my rolls. And Gorthron is like wants to be like he doesn't need to be above the salt.
Yeah.
But near the salt.
Be near the salt, but check pride.
Yeah.
As you basically were like, hold on, this got to be a mistake, and you argue for yourself to be where you want to be. Mm-hmm. Okay. Lovely. Yeah. So yeah, you succeeded going near the salt. You just eat a check of pride to do it.
Sure thing. It'll be interesting if that goes up to 16.
All right.
Yeah.
Let's draw them cards.
Right. Gorthron no longer has to make chased rolls at the beginning of feast. He's behaving himself on his new behavior. So let's draw.
Notable guests this feast. Not dining with you, but here is the White Knight, the knight that you guys tilted with at the tournament on 520. Mm-hmm. He's back here this year. Merlin is missing. Nimue is kind of in their stead.
Okay. Are any of it are like Gwaine or?
Oh yeah, like the rest of the round table knights are all here.
Okay, none of them are staying away because of the events involving their mother.
No, although that's obviously like they're kind of here. Apparently you heard that apparently they talked it over with Arthur and they came to some kind of arrangement, and so they're feeling a little bit better about it.
A host card.
I also got a host card.
That's when you start drawing 4 cards.
Does it go up?
Host calls for a toast. Courtesy, all players opposed. So it's a great way to open a feast.
Nice.
Yeah. Courtesy. Hey, that's something I pumped up recently.
Oh yeah. Come on, computer.
Okay. I think it's to family.
Let's do it.
You toast to family, and the it's the the bind. Yeah, it's the blood that binds us.
Gordon's all thumbs this year. He doesn't make a complete idiot of himself. It does not get any geniality.
So I'm going to get a success or a partial success.
Yeah.
Just going to roll for a couple of random nights.
Okay, so partial success.
All right. So you get a partial. Yeah, you're not the winning one. If you may let me, I think the winner is Gwaine. who has probably the most to say about family at this point.
Yeah. I mean, just who he is, just saying anything at this point is probably gets more eyes and attention than any of the rest of us. Of course,
yeah, so him
being like an idiot.
Yeah.
All right, sorry.
Oh, you're good.
Postcard. We're going hunting, boys.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we are.
Host calls for a hunt. All right, so we'll do
on
that
horse, Arthur.
Yeah. So obviously that happens after the feast and stuff, but there's plenty of things to do before then. All right. I'm going to interrupt the feast round for a second.
Yeah.
A Gaulish merchant arrives, and the merchant demands an audience. Arthur lets him come forth and talk and say that he was summoned by Arthur to arrive here and give a statement that he knows a lot of these kids that showed up last year, and then it just took him a while to get here. And he says that he found he helped raise these kids, that he found them on his property in the continent. And since then, he doesn't know why all of these kids, like, they just kind of vanished from him one day. But he's swearing to you all that he was raising them like they were his own, like these 100 kids, basically in Gaul, or like France. And everyone's like, "What? Who is this guy? Is that true?"
Yeah, because they were like babies, right? Like yeah, okay.
No, they're not. No, not all of them are babies.
Not all of them. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Because
sorry, go ahead.
I was trying to figure out, like, because I have two questions of like where they came from. Because one, it's like it's the same number that was rumored. Actually, we confirmed the rumor.
Yeah.
Like that Merlin had taken in like 17 or something.
Yep.
And then I was thinking that it was a result of the encounter with the succubus, and that we've got a little demon child running around Till's head. Are those two different? Are those? I guess I'm trying to figure out.
How would you know?
Am I just making one of them up?
No, I think it's intentionally vague.
Okay. All right.
So you're not wrong. You're exactly where you're supposed to be at this point.
Good.
Would it be within Acewin's portfolio as the fuddy-duddy of the round table for her to kind of
interrogate,
do a little deposition here, take some testimony?
Absolutely. That's why he's here. He can answer any questions and stuff like that.
Yeah, I think that fits well within the fact that dedicated to just and generally is the type of person to be like, whoa, hold on, let's not get ahead of ourselves.
Lovely.
Yeah, I think it'd be a lot of questions about, like, okay, if you truly were raising these kids, then you can tell me about them, and like seeing how accurate or how vague his answers are as to the qualities of these children, because obviously the other people by now know about them.
Mm-hmm. Can you test trusting and suspicious and see which one wins? Because I feel like his deposition is probably not
this is
the best.
This is a coin flip right now. So trusting, yeah, all right. Trusting wins out.
He's not saying complete falsehoods, but he's also doing that, not giving the best details in the world. Right. He's like, well, of course. Well, the kids had 2 arms. It's like, oh yeah, okay. I mean, true. But like,
you can't argue with facts,
right? No, he didn't. I mean, he doesn't say that. But I was just, being rhetorical. But he does say stuff about, the kids were, they were Kimrick's, like, they were obviously were Kimrick. They just describes classic Kimrick traits. And you're like, well, that doesn't really, you know what I mean? Like, that still doesn't mean these are these kids. But he describes one kid in particular, being like, this kid is, with kind of like blondish hair, was sort of, I don't know, like he basically like tells a quick little story about this kid who's like 3 and clearly like was a noble's kid and stuff like that. And he ends up describing one of King Lot's kids. Describing it, and they're like, that sounds a lot like, was it one of King Lot's missing kids? That sounds, oh yeah, so it probably was those kids, right? Like, and that's kind of like the trusting suspicious part. Whereas like they're basically describing one of Morgan's and Lot's like lost kids from back then.
Right. Okay. All right. Acewin's gonna be like, I find no fault here.
Yeah.
How did he come across the kids? Like, how did the merchant find them in the first place?
They were arranged neatly on the edge of his woods. Yeah, like in a line, and ostensibly from age or something that, and that he, couldn't let these kids just be out in the middle of nowhere. There was a bunch of babes, so he took them in.
I mean, that's very kind and compassionate of him. What's the angle now? Like, is he trying to get compensated?
Yeah, no, that's exactly it. He's like, I kind of, like,
okay.
You invited me over here. I was kind of expecting not to just get a little deposition here. I was kind of expecting to get, a thank you in the form of a giant check. Especially because he noticed some of these kids were like of noble birth, they clearly were born noble. That there's somebody here who probably wants these kids and they're worth money.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I got so many questions.
No, this should be weird.
Are the kids going back to the north? Are they going back to Lothian and the Orkneys? Are they?
I mean, not all the kids are King Lot's kids. It's just like he just describes just one of the scores of kids there, and they're like, oh, that sounds actually like they're Lot's missing kid. Like, there's no way like the kid with the blonde hair
text
and the
message. Oh god, they'll have him down in Camelot. Come get your kid.
No, remember, like the kids were found all over. Rediscovered, and so like he doesn't know how the kid, like, but one day he woke up and the kids were all gone, but he's just kind of was watching them for about 5 years. Right. And the weird thing is that they didn't really age. He just kind of was describing these kids and they were around, and he just had faith that whoever left them here was also watching them, and the next thing you know, they left. And Arthur, and when he heard that, he came back up here to be like, hey, like, just so you know, I took care of these kids. These are, I know I've seen these kids before. I especially remember that blonde-haired one. He was a little feisty, and and they're like, oh, that could have been that missing kid from King Lot, and that's where it all kind of went.
Gotcha. Okay.
So like I'm being deliberately like, Eric, that doesn't solve the question. You know what I mean? Sure. Like it's supposed to be deliberately like, does that mean all these kids are these kids, or are they different kids, or is it a mix? Like, what happened? And that's sort of what mystery.
That's where we're at. Yeah, mystery. Is the king gonna compensate him?
Absolutely. He is, but I think the big important part I want to emphasize is that Arthur is kind of shaken hearing about this, and that these kids like weren't aged or anything like that, and then especially like one of Lot's kids being here again, like, he's deliberately on edge about his family. So the idea of effectively not a brother but a cousin would be around again is making him a little concerned again. And then Gawain's elated, being like, oh hell yeah, dude, I got my bros here.
Like, right? It's not great news for Arthur that more children of this
Morgana are around. Yeah, exactly. Like, that's
This time your dad cucked one of his most important dukes, and
yeah. But if anything, like, yeah, and I think the thing, because you're probably seated kind of near Gawain and stuff like that, or at least Gaheris and stuff like that. They're like, I don't remember mom having another kid. like they're like, I remember, like, I don't remember Lot having, like, like, they're like trying to like remember this kid, and they're like all kind of being like, I remember kids went missing in our court, but one of them, like, they, like, just because they were so young, they don't remember.
Yeah.
And they're trying to figure it out, and being like, I don't know.
Interesting.
Yeah.
All right. Just gets more and more complicated.
Yeah.
All right.
You haven't heard the half of it. Okay. Anyways, new round.
So I've got 4, no host, but I like this one because I've never seen it before. Damaged goods. A piece of jewelry snags on a hanging or passing cloak and is in danger of getting lost. Roll dex. And then if it's dex, it's damaged, but I've recovered the item. But if I fail dex, it's lost, and I can roll awareness to see if I spot it again. Otherwise, I've lost the jewelry.
Ooh.
Yeah. What a wonderfully thematic thing, considering how jewelry has been working for you.
Yep, exactly. That is the reason I'm using it, because I'm like, I've never had my jewelry put in danger. So let's roll dex. It's 11.
Survey says.
I'm assuming I don't get the geniality bonus. So.
No. Hey.
Oh, my brooch. Excuse me, gonna have to have that pin repaired. So it's a success. Gorthon manages to hold on to the piece of jewelry as a clasp, but the piece is damaged, and it'll be another half Libra value to get it repaired.
Okay.
Or sorry, 1/10 the value to get it repaired.
I mean, it's nominal.
Nice. Yeah. 2 Libra piece of jewelry.
Yeah.
He'll get it repaired on his way back through Sarum. But I was like, oh, that's good.
Lost my lucky brooch.
Lucky.
Yeah.
It's almost lucky. Yeah. Every year I get a new lucky one.
Nice.
That's good.
Excellent.
My cards are less interesting than yours were.
Host or
more
no?
drink, no host. More drink, tipsy. Which
Okay.
also doesn't feel like super.
Yeah.
Difficult questions would be interesting if I didn't already have 2 wives.
Yeah.
Which only leaves people skills. I do like this one though, because I've always been so successful about managing the manor, despite having no relationship with my serfs, despite knowing very little about how their brains work. Like, the Winterborn Gunnet management style has always been achievement in ignorance. So I like that someone's like, Aeswin, you have all these manners you inherited from Gareth. How do you manage them? And it's like,
yeah. It's like, what are you talking about? I don't even use like, I don't.
Yeah. How do I what was that word?
Wait, are you implying that you have relationships with your peasants? that's beyond just. Yeah.
This is the we're all talking after the test, and someone's like, "Oh, the back page was so hard," and Nason's like, "The back what?"
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's no surprise there. But not a fumble, that's fine.
Fear keeps the planets, or, that keeps them in line. Yeah. Perfect. Yeah. Okay. Cool. So, nothing really. So they don't really confer any wisdom from you other than just your style.
They're like, oh, do you have any advice, Aeswin? And Aeswin's like, absolutely not. Just don't make eye contact with them. They seem to like that.
Yeah. Then they start asking you for more things, and it's just not worth it.
Don't get them too excited.
learned early from my father to just be just make sure there's a little bit of fear in them.
Don't feed them after midnight. It's real basic stuff.
You can if you can think of if they can get you to be imagined as a necromancer, the better. Awesome. All right. One more round.
Round.
And then after this round, Aklon gets to testify at court.
Nice. This is not a particularly glorious feast this year.
No.
But that's all right.
It's relatively weird.
Let's see. My computer's being real slow right now.
Yeah. No problem.
Let's see what we got. We're gonna get more drink.
I mean,
indulgent 12 players.
Compared to Camelot's opening feast last year with the murder attempts, though, I mean, the vibe here is a lot better than last year, despite it not being as glamorous.
Oh my god, Raucous Contest.
Raucous Contest.
We have never seen this one either. Oh my god.
I just want, because we've never seen it.
This is the first card I've seen where you have to leave the feast regardless.
Regardless, yeah.
This is, oh my god.
Now that's an amazing card.
Singing sensation. Gorthrin is not particularly well noted for his singing. Keep dancing. He has been.
Well, you have dancing, singing, and drinking as your card.
He is a party animal, no matter what's happening.
He's trying to make up for the outfit.
Yeah.
Mushroom tarts.
He fucked up the outfit and then made a fuss about the seating arrangement. He's trying to be like, no, I'm down to boogie. Don't worry.
Yeah. Let's see.
I'm one of those cool guests.
Gorthrin's not particularly indulgent, but I want to play this.
Hell yeah.
I've never played it before, but it does mean Gorthrin's leaving afterwards if he plays it. The Raucous Contest.
So is Acewin if I partake.
Yeah, anybody that does. To me, the dancing makes the most sense because I have been focusing on Gorthrin's dancing as one of his courtly
I don't take part. Never mind.
Type skills.
I mean, I don't see why you couldn't suggest to be part of the contest.
Certainly, yeah. Good try get a drinking contest going between some of the rounds.
Ears keep dancing.
You know, I'm gonna roll prudent to see. All right, now Acewin's like, oh, what are you guys doing over here?
Yeah. So you want to dance?
I am thinking,
contest? I will let you drink with Arthur.
Yeah, I feel like we've never gotten it before. I want to play this card. I feel like, okay, we've got this Gaulish merchant here. He's kind of like killed everybody's buzz because there's like weird magic stuff again, you know?
Yeah.
And like, you know, first off, we know Gwain's down to drink. So that's the first person I ask. Second off, it's like best way to heal wounds is to get drinking together. So Arthur, got to get these guys together, and now it's time for healing. Jesus would want this, and we're going with the Raucous Contest.
Okay, I love this because Arthur promised to hear the testimony after he's gonna get fucking slammed. So this is awesome. Okay.
Maybe that's why they're asked to depart the feast. Is like Akalon was supposed to be testifying already, but there is currently a very loud drinking contest that is slow. It's like
anarchy ain't over yet, baby.
Testimony, like we need to. Like no, we got one more round. All
right. Gorthrin's not particularly indulgent, so we'll see how this goes.
Yeah.
I mean, the card says to roll for the knight's indulgences of 3d6 plus 2. Well, I mean, Arthur's not that indulgent, but man, that you're asking. This card's asking a lot for these knights. Let's see. Okay.
All right.
Okay. All right. That's
okay.
Shit.
Two of you. Who did you? These are obvious. Okay. Well, obviously one of those is Gawain.
Which one's Gawain?
Yeah.
Yeah. And then
I
don't know if Ascalon.
Yeah. Let's see.
Or Agravain is indulgent as well.
All right. Well,
What did
13 for Gawain,
Yeah.
11 for the other guy, and
Did you roll
One.
1d6 for how many knights they're actually facing?
Oh no! I just assumed there were 3. I just picked a number.
Okay.
My bad.
I'm fine.
I rolled 1. So it's guess it's Gawain. All right. Well, I didn't. I mean, I want Arthur.
You want? Yeah. Either way, I'm good.
You're the
man.
DM. You can
One-
just
yeah.
pick 3, man.
One of them is Arthur. The 11 is Arthur. All right.
Yeah. All right. So genealogy bonus. Yeah.
I think
Uh,
to
Beliefs for adult
Yeah.
rolls. No. Oh wait, no. It would have passed if I put my thing in, because I would have 14 instead of 11.
For drinking, like it sounds like you should have your geniality for it.
Yeah.
it only affects one's courtly skills and one's appearance.
Okay. So otherwise, it's a failure. Orthrin has never been known for being particularly indulgent. He's just
Yeah, but is racing to drink your king courtly behavior?
yeah. I mean,
you did summon the host of the feast to participate in this, so I think there's an argument.
I will take that argument, because that turns my failure into
Can
a
you
success.
can you do a drunken courtesy test to determine
Is
whether or not it should be valid?
Is it courtly because it happens in court?
I mean, yeah, is it court? It is if the king's involved. Is my logic?
Oh no!
No, all right, you failed to express it, so you do fail.
Yeah, he fails. All right, that's good.
All right, that's funny.
I failed my prudent, so I guess Aeswin is joining in.
Yeah, come on in.
Oh, damn.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So looks like Gawain gets some extra glory this feast.
Of course
He needed
does.
it.
Yeah.
He needs it. It's, begging poverty for Gawain over here.
So the quote, I'm going to take a little bit of liberty about the quote unquote leaving the feast at the end of the feast and the ensuing events, if you all let me.
Yeah, go for it.
All right. So Sir Accolon de Gaulle is going to now testify at court about what happened last year. And so everyone knows, and they're free to ask him questions and stuff, especially the round table. He admits to everything that you all got him to admit to last year, but he also includes, how Morgan ensorcelled him after falling in love with her, but to the twist and surprise of the court, also Urians. He says that, if they had some kind of threesome arrangement going on. He also admits to almost killing Urian, but Urian's kid Yvain stops him, which I think you kind of heard about. So he's extremely repentant and upset about all his actions. He blames the romantic arrangement that they had for the reasons for it, as well as the sorcery of Morgan. Arthur, who's now pretty blitzed, is like, hold on. Put Yvain, Yvain, come here. Where are you? Yvain being Urian's son, a recent knight, not a round table, but just imagine a 21-year-old kid, right? He's called to testify now, in front of his drunk cousin, nephew, uncle, I guess.
Yeah.
He's what happened between Accolon and Urian, so they can kind of both give their disposition here. That there was a sword. He blocked his blade, and Accolon went running after he was disarmed. And, Accolon admits he fled the castle and was weeping in madness in the woods until Morgan found him. And rather than giving him back his sword, gave him Excalibur. Yvain can't comment on that because he was in the castle and says, my lord, I, prevented the slaying of my father. And, when my mom was leaving, I wasn't going to apprehend my mom. You know, and Arthur's mad. He's like, hold on a second. Like, why wouldn't you? What are you talking about? Like, she, like, did you not see that she orchestrated this stuff? Like, did you not know what's happened? He's like, she kind of promised that she would give up her foolish ways, and you know, she's my mom. I'm not gonna lay a hand on my mom. And he's getting pretty mad, and Arthur's getting kind of mad about this, being like, you do know that, you know, your handmaiden is dead, burned alive because they tried to kill me. And you're telling me that you could have stopped this? And Yvain's like, whoa, hang on a second, Arthur. Like, let's talk about this. You know, I thought we had an agreement about everything. He's like, I did not know about that part. You know, and now everyone in chorus kind of like getting like rumbly, and Arthur's very temperamental right now. No doubt fueled a little bit by alcohol. You know. And Yvain's kind of pleading with him, being like, you know, look, dude, if I'd known she would have lied, I would have probably done something about it. But she's my mom, you know? And Arthur's like, but we just had a toast about, you know, he's like Yvain's like, we just had a toast about family. Like, what do you? And Arthur's like, yeah, but that's nothing to your duties as a knight to the realm. Like, you just put me in danger, dude. And so like, well, he's like, fine, perhaps I should have codified it, you know. Be it known that anyone aiding or helping my wretched sister is a crime against the crown. And, you know, like, this kingdom will be built on trust. You know, and now, Yvain, I don't know what to do with you, dude. Like, I don't know if I can trust you. Will you put family ahead of your king? And like Gawain is clearly like uncomfortable about this, right? Because he's basically like Yvain stand, you know what I mean? Like, he's also kind of like staring about what's going on here. And Arthur's like, you know what, dude, just fucking leave, dude. Just leave. You know, rubs his eyes, like the whole, like, just basically a soft exile. Like, I don't want to see you, dude.
This is for Urien and Morgan's son. Yvain.
Yeah. So he exiles Yvain. Gawain looks fucking super mad about it and stands up like mid feast, like not even addressed or anything like that. And he's like, sit down. And Arthur's like, sit down. And Gawain's like, hell no. And just like looks at the king and just like shakes his head and leaves. He's also basically, you know, the last thing he says before the doors close behind him and stuff is that I'm not returning till Yvain does. So figure it out. And just kind of like
woof.
Is going on exile, basically exiling himself as well. Arthur doesn't, I mean, to his credit and not to his credit, doesn't flinch. He's like, furthermore, I will have no more non-monogamy in my courts. Trust must exist and not rot the fields of this land and our bedrooms. I forbid any arrangements of 3 or more individuals. Morgan will not use our hearts against us. Acewin, what do you do?
Acewin is drinking right now. I think that
we have to make second indulgent checks to see how drunk we are.
Oh,
well,
yes.
You can totally do that.
Were we drinking wine?
Hell yeah.
All right, so
we're near the salt. We're not drinking
5.
the cheap stuff. Yeah,
that's +5. A success is drunk.
Drinking
failure is sober.
I mean, you're having mushroom tarts. Mushroom tarts are probably a red. You're probably drinking like a cab.
Not drunk.
Of course, I'm drunk.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I think Acewin. It's. You're in
collateral damage.
Remember I said that I wanted, whenever Acewin was going to these feasts, both Karen and Alwina are dressed as though they are my lady. So it's like we can't leave too. Like that's off the table. It's just like I don't know, but
I mean, Arthur's clearly drunk and being temperamental.
Can I roll love of family and love of loyalty, Lord, as though it were like an opposed trait
Absolutely, to see which way you would behave. But yeah, I think I definitely had you in mind when I was thinking about this interaction and what's going to happen.
Wow. I think Acewin
wow.
tells
wow.
I think Acewin tells Karen to go change a little bit. Just put on a new girdle, maybe lose the shawl. And I succeeded at love of family. I think this is not necessarily that Acewin is drinking the Kool-Aid and being like, well, my king has said, so this shall be so. It's Acewin being like, I can't try to punk the king right after the shit just went down with
his family,
Ywain and others. But I also want to protect you from consequences. If I were to shirk his proclamation just now, that would put us in danger. So for now, play it safe. Technically, Karen is the one I'm not married to, so she's going to be the one to go change. And this will be on the itinerary of things to fucking figure out for the rest of the year.
I think Alwina would probably join her.
So they're both going to not
like. I should probably help you, yeah. Or actually, that's a really good point. What does Alwina do? Because like, would Alwina go with them as well? Because like, they have an opinion about this.
Yeah, but she's lazy.
Okay,
she got lazy of like 19.
Yeah, that's. You know what? That's true. I was.
She expresses her heartfelt.
There's a 5%. There's a 5% chance.
He's already sitting down.
There's a 19. There's a 5% chance. Yeah,
okay.
No, she's lazy. Okay.
Yeah, she's lazy.
You're right. You're right. She does apologize.
Actually, it's 17, so that was weirdly close to a crit.
Okay. Crit laziness would have been incredible. But yeah. So kingdom's changing a little bit.
Okay.
Nimue is like, Arthur, after that kind of stuff, we need to talk. But yeah, other than that, the feast is gonna draw to a close. One last thing. Guinevere is going to announce mad at Arthur for kind of going on this tirade for a second. She cancels this year's pageantry and like order of her ladies contests because basically Arthur's a sour pants, and without Gawain and without Yvain, it just seems like it's kind of ruined it.
Man, this year sucks.
Yeah.
This is the most a year has sucked without someone dying.
Let's go hunting.
Yeah. No, cheer us up. A good hunt.
Nice.
Love it.
So Gorthrid is energetic and does not have to roll to see if he passes out.
Hunt. It's beautiful.
Be right back.
Sure.
Yeah, let's get back into the Camelot forest. We gotta get some good memories for Arthur. We got to erase these bad vibes and get the good vibes, and that means he's going to go in with his boys. He's going to go in with his crew. We're going to kill the biggest boar we can find, and feast.
Oh yeah. Well, the Camelot woods are bursting with boar, so have a good time. Get his mind off stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah. Let's do it.
You want us to roll? Oh, we're going to roll. Right. I thought the card was just...
No. Sorry.
Check if we go. Yeah, we're
we go. Acewin, are you joining Arthur and the rest of the folks on a hunt, or is this going to be like a way to protest?
No. Acewin is taking her time because this is not something she thinks she can reflexively or off the cuff protest. This is something more serious.
Yeah,
like
you're basically inadvertent collateral damage after the family events, if that wasn't clear.
And Look, my job is to be fuddy-duddy justice lady.
Yeah.
Gotta think about this.
Hold on, did Kai get you a Red Bull?
No, I ordered Uber Eats.
Oh, I was like, that's
I literally
yeah.
I had to make the minimum for 7-Eleven apparently. Yeah. So I had it's just a sack of like 4 12-ounce Red Bulls got delivered.
Okay, that's amazing. Sorry to put you on the spot there, but after we were talking, I wanted to know. I was like,
okay. So happy.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So you check hunting and stuff. You go on the hunt, but yeah, we're gonna have to figure out what's gonna happen for Arthur and stuff later
on. Only 40 glory for that feast.
Yeah, it was really low.
Yeah, same 3 for me.
Yeah. All right. While you're out hunting though, the White Knight wants to talk to you, Aeswin.
Mm-hmm.
So, he's gonna do that thing where it's like, we tilted in the year 520. So, if you don't remember me. And he's like, I just can't help but notice how Christian you are. Basically is the lack of a better term to it. And he's kind of doing a little bit of a Nick Fury Avenger kind of thing. Where I'm putting together a team of super Christians. Those who have the extolling the Christian virtues and values. It's like, what do you know about the Grail?
It is the holy chalice. Grants God's grace, eternal life, immortality, protection from evil. Yeah. The stories are endless.
Yeah. Well, what would you say to me forming a spiritual group that would be about the religious virtues? We could combine the virtues of monks and knights together. In the same way that, the chalice represents, both Christ's blood and the physical realm. A unification of the best ideas of the realm. The Temple of the Holy Grail, theme song, or like leitmotif song plays. Would you be interested?
I would be interested to hear more.
Yeah. Well, he doesn't exactly have like a business plan or anything like that. But the idea is that next year he's going to officially form the Order of the Temple of the Holy Grail, available to knights who have a specific, they hit the Christian virtue bonuses. You'll get a glory bonus as well as kind of be called on to do a couple quests and stuff like that every now and again. And more to come later on with obviously when the Grail period and stuff like that is more prevalent.
Do I hit the religious bonus? I don't think I hit the religious bonus.
Didn't you?
I got the chivalry bonus. Yeah.
Forget I said anything then. I thought you got the religious bonus, not the chivalry bonus.
No, it's the chivalry. Because religious, if I needed to hit religious, there are a couple that are like forgiving, I think is a religious one, and that is very low.
I recant that. Sorry about that.
So
I thought you were someone else. You just have one of those faces.
Wait, are you
Aeswin? Look alike as he like rides away.
Wait, are you Aeswin to Tisbury? No, you're the other Aeswin. Sorry.
You're like hunting. It's like awkward. And then you both are going the same way. You can't even break
I'm
off.
probably wearing because I'm part of the Order of the Born, right? Yeah. I'm already in an order, so I'm wearing that uniform.
This isn't the knight I was looking for.
Love that. I actually don't know. Now I don't know how close I am to religious bonus. I don't think I'm like super far, but I do know I definitely don't have it.
Yeah, chaste, energetic, generous, modest, temperate.
Chaste is 10, energetic, modest 16 is written, and temperate is 13. So actually, I'm not very close at all. I am like 36,
Gorthron
6 points away.
Yeah, Gorthron was 1 away from the pagan bonus until he converted, because I, didn't want to make it easy for myself.
Why would you?
Of course,
this is not a game about making it easier for yourself.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll have to give up that extra healing rate.
You try to bend the stats a certain direction, but then play will actually show you where it goes.
Yeah.
Just fun.
I like the idea that Gordon's made this decision, but that he doesn't change his habits overnight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's you definitely have those George Costanza moments of like, should I not have done that?
Should I have not gotten the king drunk here before we're supposed to? He's gonna hear the guy that almost killed him. It's just
Is that weird?
I got a big ignorance on this.
Yeah,
I got a big ignorance where I come from all the time.
Yep. Meanwhile, he's over there showing the sword that got reforged. It's like,
yeah,
Excalibur sheared right through. You see the line.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that. Oh, yeah.
It's like hunting the next day.
Yeah.
Wait a minute, we'll get into clearing and I'll show you.
Yeah. See, there you go. I specifically asked Nimue if you can keep that in the the reconstruction.
Yep.
Awesome. Okay. Well, this year is going to go otherwise relatively uneventfully, so we have time to do some domestic stuff.
Yeah.
What are some of the things you all are interested in doing? Obviously you flagged some stuff to me earlier this spring, Jim. But Acewin.
Yes, I do have something because last year, hold on. It was last year I found out Wolfius was in a feud with Marshallou de Albury. And this is something that interests Acewin both as like this is my half brother, and also I'm the fucking marshal, and I can't have the knights too distract. Keep them sharp, but don't get distracted. So I think Acewin's going to kind of check in on the feud and see how that's developed, what's going on.
Sure. Yeah, Wolfius is back, and Wolfius is doing better than ever, having captured the guy's horse.
Oh yeah,
this guy. I don't know. I ever worry about Wolfius.
Yeah,
Wolfius. Yeah,
he's like frayed, but I don't hate him.
Yeah. He's over there having his own awesome campaign, just living it up.
That's kind of what I want to represent. Is that like, oh, that could have been in someone's campaign. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like just a little anecdotes here and there. And yeah, no, he came back and it's fine. And I think the important part is that despite the feud like persisting for a while and enough requiring a duel, they were merciful. Like they didn't fight to the death. And he let him have his horse. And that it was just very like mutually and respectable. And now think about it this way. I think the drawing thing I would like to draw attention to is that a duel, like a feud like this, remember like with Roderick and shit, like would like cause a near civil war?
Yeah, I was about to say, do we need to form up a posse?
No, and that's the thing is that this, like, it's a different world now. Like, it's, you guys, it's not the anarchy anymore.
That gives me an idea.
That this is, it's very much like, nah, I lost, fair. Here's my horse.
I think, oh, yes, I've got an idea. I'm going to pitch this to the Earl.
Okay.
I'm going to be like, using the Wolfius's feud as kind of the
inspiration,
a template or argument. Be like, it's good for us to have these little feuds so long as they don't get out of hand, so long as it's keeping us sharp, right? But we're kind of invested on the higher levels of like knowing what's up. So what if the marshal held like these tournament, a tournament, a joust thing,
like on the continent.
With the notion that like we get all the knights in Salisbury, we figure out who's got issues with who and make sure that they're
Matched
jousting each other. They're matched against each other. It's a way for us to both keep track of like what feuds are happening in Salisbury and give them an outlet that's not going to get out of hand because we're watching it. And it can all be covered with the deniability for anyone's honor.
It's training.
That this is just training. Yeah, this is the marshal is like keeping the armies in order.
The only I think the Earl would be interested in it. The only thing he's worried about is like, well, that's a radical departure to our normal stuff and the expenses of a tournament but he's totally interested in knowing more and getting a joust. Like they're basically like they have to spend the year building the jousting thing. But then
and I see the question of like, okay, but where are we getting the money for this?
But
I know where we're gonna get the money.
Yeah,
I know where we're gonna get the money from the Castellans, right? Make it a thing of prestige. Like the Castellans are the ones
hosting
sponsoring. Them? Yeah,
and it rotates around.
Yeah, so each of them gets to feel.
Duplain.
Because we already know, and and that fits because the Castellans also butt heads with one another because they're all proud and invested in their own power. So again, it's a productive way to like channel their competition. I'm proud of this. Idea.
Good idea.
I mean, that's just a good idea that doesn't require a roll. But I think you should just check courtesy, or some kind of like noble officiating skill. Maybe I would say intrigue, but it's not really like you were doing skullduggery. It's just that you kind of made a great compromise. That this is really awesome. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
that's incredible. Yeah, like the thing that they were worried about is like, is this actually true? And I think the insight is the thing that you like. I guess you're gonna have to explain that Wolfius' duel, right? Mm-hmm. You're gonna have to explain a little bit about how like, no, like you don't understand. Like we all grew up on like the delicious like utter milk of chaos. You know, this is a different world. We never would have thought of this in 1,000 years. But like these guys, you know what I mean? But seeing that these guys are growing up in a peaceful environment, you can hash out their things without murder.
And it also means that if for people who don't have feuds, they're not sitting on their ass. Like if you don't have a feud, you're still getting a little sharpness through the year. You're still getting a chance to work that on that.
You don't have to go raid somebody's peasants just to make sure your skills are sharp.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. Hell yeah. Love it. That's a great idea.
As Marshal, and so it is. I'll make you a note here. Adding jousts to the yearly routine for Salisbury. This is someone's like, this is a fad. This will never catch on.
Yeah.
These tournaments, they're not here to stay.
Yeah, not at all. I'd like Gorthron to do a couple things. One, I want to like, he wants to seek out Caedwalla, his next oldest, who will is now his heir, and like spend some time with her. She's a page already. I'm assuming in Sarum. But he just wants to make sure he spends some time with her, and if weather permitting, he'd like to go visit the King of Wessex and visit his manor on the Isle of Wight.
Yeah,
because
she is 13.
Wow, she's 13. Okay.
Yeah, she's born 5'11".
Yeah, she's almost like mostly what I just at a meta level for the scene. I'm just looking to get a feel. We've never really like spent time with Caedwalla, and she's Gorthron's heir now. Like she's whatever she was gonna do, she's now gonna be a knight.
Yeah, because
And
it's no longer Conehelm.
yeah, because it's no longer Kono, it's got to be her. And or at least that's how Gorthrin's playing. So yeah,
you have Caedwalla, you had Caddy, Conehelm is
Kono's first, then Caedwalla, then Caddy, then Glesny, then Nesta.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, so I actually don't have any descriptions for Caedwalla because there's so many dang kids.
Yeah.
All right.
See,
Well, I will generate one right now.
Yeah.
Okay. They are idealistic but rude. Lovely.
Yes.
Their current trait as a kid is they're not known for anything particular, although they do have a 15 in temperate, so they don't have any high 16s.
Okay.
I take that back. They're in terms of their passions and things, they have an 18 in their faith. So like I would measure that they have taken to the Christianity relatively well.
That tracks with sort of like Slytherin's conversion and everything. Yeah.
But they're idealistic but rude. So what does that kind of represent to you?
I kind of like the idea that she doesn't think much of her dad. Like her dad's just this kind of oaf, not particularly, like only recently has shown any sort of seriousness towards like these principles that she really holds, faithful and idealistic. I can see her being very like, my dad's just, my father.
He's doing his best.
Yeah.
Whatever.
And as a second, as second born, that is probably how a lot of our experiences have been, like between Gorthrin and Caedwalla. Now it's like, well, now you're technically firstborn, so now you have my attention.
Yeah.
So who knows how she feels about that? But Gorthrin is going to make an honest attempt at it. He loves his family. He's honest and generous. So he's making a go at connection and trying to like impart some values on her.
Yeah. And what value would you try to impart on her?
I think he's going to see her faith and appreciate it. He's going to call it out and recognize it as a strength of hers, and that she ought to let that guide her in her life, because it's about to change, and like that can still be a guide star for her.
Yeah, no, I think I'm trying to think of like, it's one of those scenarios where you're trying to teach her to emphasize religion, but I think in a way, like she might teach you a thing or two. Just growing up in the faith and a different way of like looking at, I don't know, something about the faith that you didn't really consider, that left an impact to you.
Gorthrin has I like this part about Gorthrin because of the way Erwin arranged his pageship and of coming up at the cathedral in Sarum as a page. Sort of like he has a very he knows a lot about it, but he just hadn't really taken it seriously. And I think it's maybe one of those things where she says something like quotes a scripture, something I'm not about to remember my scriptures, but says something that Gorthrin knows, and it's like, oh, like I understand it differently now.
I think it's
as he's showing her like this is a knight's saddle and this is the armor you're going to wear and things like that.
Oh, that's cute.
Yeah. And then like sometime, like I said, weather permitting, I remember it's King Godwin of Wessex. He's like young kind of, and like Gorthrin just got a sense that this is a person to make sure that you visit occasionally, to make sure you're still thinking of you. And so he's going to gift the king with a riding saddle, nice riding saddle, and stay as long as the king will have him, and then he's going to visit his manor on the Isle of Wight for the year.
Yeah, nice. So you're hanging out in Wessex for the year.
Yeah.
Fine by me.
Not taking any of my retinue that hates Saxons. Yeah. They're going to stay in guard Tilshead.
Yeah, that one guy. Yeah, makes sense. Lovely. Well, what about Eastwin? You got some stuff to discuss about your family.
Yeah. I think both Colin and Acewin are trying to figure out how to navigate this new proclamation.
Yep.
I
mean, from a player level, are we cool with it?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
No, like I said when you
okay.
checked in on this, like if you're not hurling homophobic slurs at my character, the least you can do is fuck with me in another way.
Yeah.
I think so. The first thing that comes, and I'm just talking my way through this. First thing that comes to mind is Acewin is not going to give up Karen.
No,
that is a sincere love of hers, a sincere commitment of hers. Like they remember, Acewin considers Yanto legitimate, and regardless of the legality, Yanto is her son as much as her as Archibald.
So there's a thing. There's a thing I wanted to bring up to you. Sorry to interrupt you. It's just that in sixth edition, I was reading the latest blog post for it, and there's a the guy's breaking up honor into two stats. There's like the perceived honor, and then there's a not perceived honor, your self honor, like your true honor.
Right.
And there can be a discrepancy here. And I'm thinking this is a pretty ripe space if you don't want to like immediately solve this problem to let it like have that scenario where it's eating at you.
Yes. I think Acewin would, though, be like, we have to present, right? So Karen is going to appear more as my household knight than mistress.
No more feasts wearing the same thing as Alwina.
I don't know what to roll here to see whether Acewin says Yanto is also going to have to be in a different manner than my heir. They can no longer we're no longer like raising them in the same place now. And like I'll split my time. Does she have the heart to go through that? Because she knows that's an incredible. Like the kid's not going to understand.
He's innocent.
The
politics. Exactly. Yeah. He's completely innocent of it.
All he's going to know is like, hey, Ma sent me away, and like, fuck. Merciful versus cruel. No. I don't know what I'm rolling here to fuck it. She's going to do that. She's going to send Yanto for now to a different manor. I think specifically Laverstock, because that's going to be the easiest to get back and forth to. And Acewin is probably going to run herself a little ragged trying to give Yanto the attention that Archibald gets. Yeah, so it's just like I think she pitches to Alwina and Karen, be like, here's the new holding pattern. I don't have an answer yet. I don't know what we're doing, but here's what we're doing for now.
Like,
gotta play ball.
Yeah. I mean, thank God you're known for your energeticness, right?
Yeah, I'm 7. That's my other high.
Like, can we just imagine for a second, like, what Acewin's life is like being a marshal as a full-time job, a round table knight as a full-time job, and juggling all of this as a full-time job? Like, you absolutely are running yourself ragged. Okay. Stressful stuff, man. But yeah, for sure.
It is, yeah.
No, I like it. So
yeah, and I guess my question to you as the DM is like, how are Karen and Yanto and Alwina, and how are they taking this? Because I know how my character's taking it. Not great, but determined to figure something out.
Yeah. I mean, they understand enough to know that, like, yeah, this is the king's decree that and the last thing they want to do is jeopardize you. I I mean, not Yanto. Like Yanto is like obviously just a kid and just gonna just be a kid
Yeah.
and just gonna do shit, being like, what do you mean I have to live somewhere else, right?
Yeah.
That
Archie
sucks.
and Yanto
Winterborn Gut. It's my home. Like I literally grew up there. What do you mean I have to go live down in Laverstock? I hate Laverstock. Laverstock smells.
Yeah.
Like,
it was, well,
you know what I mean?
thankfully it's with Sir Ealdred, who's
Yeah.
not an asshole. Yanto was born in, looks like 517, so he's 3. He's only 4.
Yeah, so it doesn't really have that much of a memory.
Yeah, he's 4, and Archibald's 8.
If Archibald had to
pretty
switch,
young.
it would be different. But yeah, to Archibald,
Right.
all he knows is that this is the king's making his family break up.
Yeah.
Pretty much, right? That's as much as context as he's like, well, the king wants us to do this, so we have to do it. It's like, okay. The king says we have to do this, and it sucks that I don't get to see my brother. But is he allowed to say that he's his brother? Do you have to teach him to say that he's not his brother? That's the question. No, we don't call him your brother anymore. We call him your friend. Like, is it like that?
That is for Aeswin a step too far. Aeswin is willing to bend to the king's decree so far, no further.
Okay.
She's not going to make an 8-year-old kid.
Yeah, I know.
Like,
I mean,
verbally disavow his brother.
I know. Also, like, yeah, I know. Okay. Yeah.
So if that ends up being a source of complication, Aeswin's totally prepared for that.
Sure. Yeah. I wasn't. It just occurred to me that like the level of violence that I'm inflicting with this and how it's uncomfortable and like
yes,
again at any point I can always like pull it back, but like okay.
No. Keep going.
Okay. Fair enough. Yeah, I just want to make
Harder,
sure.
Daddy.
Yeah.
Sorry. This is
Okay.
like this is
I know
right. It's a problem without a clear solution. That means that we've got sessions to work with.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So you're gonna be like, no, you can still call him brother, and that makes sense. I mean, I'm just trying to think of like what the rest of Salisbury knows right now in terms of stuff. It's not like your relationship is a secret at all at any point.
It's been the opposite of a secret.
Exactly.
The number of times I've shown up at Easter being like, yeah you're my wives.
Yeah. So I think going forward is that obviously the implication here is that anything that's not monogamy is like Morgan's witchcraft afoot. And so anything that's strange or bizarre here is going to be socially frowned upon. And there's going to be a little bit of a legacy there that your kid's going to have to deal with, of being like, not really understanding why people don't trust him, or like why kids aren't allowed to play with him, at the park. So it's going to be dealing with that stuff, man.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think that's really interesting with the sort of unspoken permissiveness of having a mistress. It's like, it's okay to have a mistress because that is not a commitment, or it's a temporary thing. Like,
the minute
the dalliance.
Yeah.
Once you start saying, no, they're part of the household, then it's like, well, that's weird. Why would you do that? That's weird. No, tricksy business.
Yeah. It's confusing. It creates jealousy in the household. It creates, and obviously, and it's a vector for Morgana's spellscraft to get in the way, like, basically, right? And the idea is like, just none of that shit. Like, we're cutting it out. We're gonna be honest with each other going forward.
Yeah.
Yeah. As an aside, is just, for me, is just like, I'm also trying to think of a way of like, why would I permit you to be in a relationship like this when obviously the big drama coming up is going to be Lancelot and Guinevere, and like, how am I going to remedy this? And so I thought this was kind of an easy way to kind of marry this all together, pun intended.
In fairness, I've always thought that was the solution to the Guinevere, Lancelot, Arthur thing.
Yeah. Okay. Polycule did it. We're done.
To be honest, that's how I feel whenever I see a lot of romantic movies with like the lover triangle. I'm just like, why aren't you all kissing though? Like, that seems like it fixes it. Why does that not fix it?
It's jealousy.
Yeah. Awesome. All right. Well, I'm happy with the way this is going then. Okay. I think then one of the other things this summer that will happen. So I guess obviously you're going to be away for this message, Gorthrin. But for Acewin, Gawain's gonna show up. So like while you're in Laverstock or whatever for this time, right? And Gawain's kind of traveling through. It's like, yeah, I was told I was going to see you here. Like I was looking around for you, and folks in Sarum told me that you might be over here. How you been, man? Gawain looks great as always. He's super excited to tell you about the stories he's been up to this summer. Do you accept him in, or to hear more, or like you'd be like, hey man, I'm kind of busy.
I'm sorry, visiting Acewin or
yeah, Acewin. Sorry.
Okay, yeah.
He's in Laverstock. Yeah, Gorthrin's away. He's like, I heard Gorthrin's down in Wessex right now.
Hell yeah, man! Come in. We'll break out some of the good wine.
Oh, nice. Listen, me and Yvain, man, like we met this Irish knight named Morholt, dude, and like all of these people, oh, they were awesome ladies. He's like, oh, I'm getting super far ahead. I'm sorry, man. And like he's like clearly like super excited about this stuff, and he's like, man. Also, by the way, I'm really sorry about my fucking uncle.
Ooh. Yeah, I think Acewin's gonna like try to be tactful about it.
Yeah.
But also be like, why'd you walk out? Like,
why? Because family. It's like, I think Gawain will say it that family is more important than anything else. And so the idea of the role to a king, like, what's the point of a king if you can't have family? Right? It doesn't work. He kind. I mean, he's not like a Marxist. Like, you know what I mean? He's not gonna like be hierarchical. But the idea here is that he's very much like bottom up thinking. Like family is the most important thing we have. Like at the end of the day, like chivalry and stuff like that, and God gives us family, and that is the bedrock of everything, right? And if you're going to try to break that for a king, then there's other cracks. Is kind of what he's coming at, right? He's not that eloquent at saying it, but the eyes are like, man, like family is everything. If you don't have family, what do you have?
I think Acewin is going to pointedly, like we're like in the Great Hall, right around the table or something, is pointedly gonna like walk and like stand behind Yanto and like hand on the shoulder and check and like pointedly look at Gawain and be like, don't fucking talk to me about how important family is, man.
Yeah.
But Acewin's going to again try and tactfully be like, why is it so clear one or the other? Like you can have issue with the king, as some people do at the moment, without walking out on the king.
Well, I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm gonna keep it $1.50 because it feels powerful, man. I'm like one of the few people who can do that. Kind of feels good to stick it to him.
Ooh.
He's completely honest. Like he's literally being like straight up honest with you. It's because he can give the middle finger to the king and get away with it, and he knows he can. So what? I saved his life. Like, what is he gonna do? He's not gonna kick me out.
I think at this, gonna drop a little bit of the tact.
Yeah.
And Acewin's gonna be like
kind of a badass rock star. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
and Acewin's just gonna kind of offhand just merely say, be that as it may, it's never been a virtue to me to express power for its own sake.
Well, as far as I get it, I mean, Arthur grew up with Sir Kay and stuff, but he's never gonna know life like we know it, man. Like he is power. He's been told since he pulled the sword from the stone that he's like destined. How is he ever gonna have a normal life like us?
We have normal lives.
I mean, you catch him, you know, well, you know what I mean. Everything that he does, he's going to have to, he weighs, I guess this is what Merlin was telling him. I hope Merlin was telling him. Everything he does is in the context of being a king, being the chosen one, being a lord. He's never going to get to be just like get drunk, you know, the first time, like, you know, he's not going to be able to go out and get drunk like we are all the time. And he's our king, and we owe him that fealty. But at the same time, man, like, just because he will never understand what it's all for. Does that make sense? He's fighting for something he can't have. A normal life.
Do you think
for everyone?
Do you think that removing from his presence that counsel and that perspective of that thing that he can't have, making him less likely to respect it?
Look, I think he's been trying to run away from it.
Gawain, it was not him who exited the hall.
I know, but that's not what I'm saying. Acewin, what I mean is that I feel like it's kind of getting to Arthur right now, being a king. And
I don't disagree, Gawain. I don't disagree on anything you said. I don't think I disagree on anything you believe. I disagree with what you did.
I'm not mad that you stuck around. You know, I you can be mad at me. That's fair.
I'm not mad.
But look, I'm not here to
just disappointed.
Well, I'll tell you what, man. You want to get back at me?
Yes. Acewin the Just is all about revenge.
Well, I'm just saying, if you wanted to knock my ass off a horse, you know, I know about a tournament. You wanted to come.
Acewin's gonna like refill both the goblets and like clink it
Tell
and
me
be
more.
Like, yeah, Gawain, I've never needed an excuse to knock you on your ass.
Yeah, well, you'll be one of 6. And yeah, so
God, I'm gonna get fucking bodied.
Yeah, and he tells them that, like, he tells you that up north here, north of in like North Wales, like by the Perilous Forest, is that he tells you about that the Morholt, the Irish knight, and Yvain are up there, and they met this cool lady, and they just been kind of like waiting to schedule up a tournament, and they met a couple guys, and yeah, they're just kind of having a good time. If you want to join us, we're gonna go up there. You want me to should we go get Gorthrin?
I think Gorthrin would beat us both bloody if we left him out of a tournament.
Yeah, that's good, man. I would love to see him go against Morholt, man. I've never seen a better rider. You know, and like as you're kind of talking about this stuff, so yeah. So you're kind of having like a shadow tournament kind of thing of just like dudes kind of not following the rules of just as good or bad as that will be for the kingdom.
I think
so. That's something that
painfully aware right now that this cannot be a mere social obligation for her. Like, she wants this to be just buddy with Gawain, but there's politics kind of stuff going on that she's obligated to keep an eye on too.
So, and that's the thing I want to keep in mind, and it's why we're not just going to go. Obviously, we all as players want to do a tournament where we might be able to unseat Gawain, right? Of course, we all want to do that. But the thing is, though, is like this is not sanctified. You know what I mean? Like this doesn't work. Like this is you guys kind of shirking your duties and being like, I have business. I'm out of here. You know what I mean? Like you're kind of playing hooky in a way, right? I mean, obviously you're round table knights and you have a lot of leeway for doing things, but you're also the marshal, right? You're also and like Rofus already isn't coming because of this, because he's like, dude, I'm an earl. I can't be seen out doing all that stuff. But also Rofus kind of said, you know, he didn't say don't also talk to Acewin or Gorthrin, right? So is that approval? Who knows? But that's something to consider. Is that I won't punish you outright for doing this, but there would be a chance that this could be a problem, right? So
I think
you saved Arthur's life. What the fuck is he gonna do? You know what I mean? You rushed to him. Wait, so how do you all feel about it?
Acewin
You deserve a break.
wants to pitch to the Earl, be like, you can't go. And it may reflect poorly on those who do go. But I believe that there is value in maintaining that relationship with Gawain, keeping an ear to the ground, as it were. And Acewin's basically saying, like, I'm fine with Greater Salisbury, hell, Logris thinking poorly of me for this decision, but I need at least one person to know why I'm actually doing this. Even if you never speak of it, you don't even need to come to my defense. I need someone, at least one person to know that this is not me saying F you, King Arthur. This is me being like, I need to hear I need to be in the room when they're talking.
Yeah. Oh. I mean, he gives you the approval of it, especially explaining that. But the question is, what does Gorthrin think? I know we're a little bit over time. If it's...
I think Gorthrin doesn't want to spend his goodwill in this way, even though I think it's a good idea that someone's there. And I think Gorthrin would be like, tournament, I'm rubbish with a lance. You know that. Hrodgar is the one to ask. He'll tilt against anyone.
That's clever.
All he does is tilt against them. Yeah.
Okay.
This is why I have Hrodgar.
Yeah. Gawain's like you? All right. Yeah.
He's my son. Or not my son, my son.
My brother.
My younger brother. Yes.
It's like, I mean, if he wants to represent you and you can vouch for the dude, sure, man.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. I pay his upkeep.
Yeah, it's like, just so you know, though, like, some of the people there, like, I watched him, on horse, like 10 random guys, man. Like, these people here aren't they're sharks. They're good.
Yes.
Do I tell Gorthrin my real reason for going?
Yeah, is Gorthrin surprised that Acewin's going?
I don't think Acewin tells Gorthrin the real reason.
Yeah. Okay. I think it makes sense. Like, Gorthrin, something's up. I think for Gorthrin's, like, Gawain, like, has, as far as he knows, he's never even said thanks for covering my tab that one year. So, so it's like he's happy to kind of keep Gawain at an arm's length because this guy seems like bad news. So if Acewin is going, Gorthrin assumes there's a good reason and doesn't want Acewin to go without backup. So he's like, take Hrodgar. Hrodgar will ride in my stead. He's younger. He's more spry.
That shows some faith in Acewin that I think is appreciated.
Yeah. He's not going to ask. There's a good reason. There's a good reason that Gorthrin doesn't know. So Hrodgar can be trusted.
It's what the Winterborn Gunnets do. They do weird shit, and you just kind of have to hope.
Yeah.
Just they work in together sometimes,
Right. And then he's going to make sure that Hrodgar goes off with the good one of the Andalusian Chargers.
Oh, nice. Okay, then. Well, then
so
now we'll
go in Gorthrin's stead. He's going to look splendid.
Should be like, you use the same jewelry from the feast. Be like, I'm gonna make this work. It's gonna work at this time. We're gonna be outside. The light's gonna be good. You're gonna get much more blue than orange. Like we're at the feast. It'll work.
Yeah, because Gorthrin is looking to, like, just out of game. My ultimate goal for Gorthrin is to hold land directly from the king. Like, that's what I really want for Gorthrin, to have, that's my direct liege lord is King Arthur. And so Gorthrin is thinking long term of, like, we've saved his life twice this last year.
Baron Gorthrin does have a ring, doesn't it?
It has a ring to it. That has some worth. But yeah, so he doesn't want to spin that yet. He wants to not rock the boat, as it were. Besides, if the marshal's out, then the Earl might need something, and Gorthrin can make himself useful after he's back from his summer trip to the Isle.
Yeah. Someone sensible has to keep these Chucklefuck Castellans in line. So
Right.
yeah. Awesome.
Yeah. I think that's why Acewin didn't tell Gorthrin, because Gorthrin is doing this on the down low at it to her thinking in the capacity of being the marshal of like there. I need to be aware of things that might happen that would require an army, like if Gawain and his fucking family, decide to take real umbrage, and her responsibility then is to the Earl. And the Castellans have always been like a kind of balance to the Earl's power in Salisbury. And unfortunately, that Gorthrin is now in that category of balancing against the Earl rather than direct service,
Completely true. Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, then that's where we will stop for today's session.
Yeah. The level up.
Good one.
Yeah.
Ragnar.
It's a fun game.
It's a fun game. Such a fun game.
Choice nuggets.
Yeah. I mean, it makes you all able to get up, at like 8:30 or whatever your time or earlier to play. And so I know that's how much you all like it. I know how much you hate it. So that's awesome. Yeah.
This is late in the morning for me when I wake up. So I'm sharp. I love it.
Yeah. Perfect. Awesome, y'all. Awesome. Yeah, seriously, thanks. I'm so glad. Again, sorry we couldn't play last week. So we should be back for next week and ostensibly going forward. So
sounds good.
Daisy.
Hey, Daisy.
Daisy. I love you, man.
49
Daisy.
months.
Damn.
You caught it right at the end while we're saying goodbye. You're something else. Awesome. All right. Well, we're sorry. On that note, we're out of here. See you, Daisy. All right. Bye, everyone.